Hi Cancer, and welcome to your September general reading. Welcome to beautiful September as we transition into the next season, the next phase of our lives. Depending on where you are in the world, right? Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are shifting into fall, one of my favorite times of the year. We start to see the changes around us and how it's reflected within, right? All of the plant life, nature starting to go into hibernation, things dying off, things transforming. There's a lot of symbolism this time of year, especially tied in with this retrograde energy that we're feeling as a collective. Every sign is being affected in some shape or form. And of course, it's all for our growth, right? Our spiritual growth, our spiritual development. For you, the Venus retrograde, which we've been talking about, has been in your second house, which really impacts your daily life, right? Second house is Taurus energy. It's all about what you have, your resources, your earned income, your paycheck, right? The hustle. And it has a lot to do with your value, right? What you focus on to make money, to earn a living, what you prioritize, right? So we talked about this Cancer last month, and a lot of it having to do with your self-esteem, because when it comes to material wealth, right, monetization, it's a direct reflection and correlation to how we perceive ourselves. And Cancers, are highly intuitive, highly emotional signs, and they can be impacted by the negative thinking of others and their environment. They're very sensitive creatures, right? I love you, Cancers. It's not a bad thing. It's what makes you superhuman, right? Being so in touch with your emotions. But some of the negative side effects of that is that you can be easily swayed by your emotions and maybe the opinions of others. And so it's really important with the second house influence to always keep that in the back of your mind. Like, how do I perceive myself really? And how is this reflected in how others value me and how others appreciate me, and how am I showing up for myself so that I can deepen that understanding, that knowledge of yourself, right? And you can show up in the world. Show up and show out is what I heard. Patience just flipped out. If you were wondering, shuffling through the animal oracle as we meditate on your energy. So yeah, this takes patience, right? This takes wisdom, time to, come to terms with these things, and focus is what I'm hearing. So Venus went direct as of September 4th. So anything to do with the second house, it's like maybe things are finally progressing. Maybe you finally got that raise at your job. Maybe you finally stood up for yourself. Maybe you're getting very clear on what it is that you truly deserve, especially when it comes to money, okay? Mercury is going direct to September 16th. So we'll have two planets out of retrograde. We're not fully in the clear yet. September is preparation. We're still kind of moving through these retrogrades. And we're preparing for October, which is eclipse season. So that's really the main theme for all the signs, is preparation, okay? Preparation. Mercury going direct, again, business contracts, communication, there's a lot more clarity, there's a lot more truth, there's a lot of knowledge. Mercury is all about how we perceive information and how we kind of collect and digest information, how we process information. So it's almost like, I was talking to Virgo about this, like defragging the system, unclogging, right? Sorting out the files. New moon on the 15th. So mid-month is going to be a pretty heightened time, which we are creeping up on. That's this weekend. I plan to do a new moon reading, so stay tuned for that. For you, this new moon is going to be in your 3rd house. So that's mercurial energy right there. A lot of what I was just talking about, 3rd house is Gemini. It's communication, information, short distance travel even. Maybe you're planning a short trip. It's also about your neighborhood. It's about your closer circle, right? How you're networking there. And then at the end of the month, this is where that preparation kind of escalates. We have Sun and Mars joining up in Libra, which brings a hefty amount of balance into our lives and a hell of a lot of motivation and drive. You know, Sun-Mars energy really pushes us forward. It's like if we didn't have that kind of reassurance after these 2 planets going direct, you know, Venus and Mercury, that Sun-Mars influence is just like, okay, let's like kick it up a notch. Let's, you know, maybe take a couple steps that way, you know. Reorienting, right? It's going to be in your 5th house, so that has a lot to do with family. Oh no, sorry, not 5th house. I'm sorry about that. 4th house, which still has a lot to do with family. But there's this progression for you, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, which has a big influence on the daily rhythms within the home and at your job. So those are like the 2 main focuses. They are definitely being highlighted for you this month. You might be motivated to change something up within the home. There's something around the home this month. 4th house is not just physically the home, but it's also the people within the home. That can be like our close family, our partners, our children. And then at the end of the month for you, Cancer, the full moon on the 29th is going to be in your 10th house. So career, highlight on career. You see there's this big influence on home and work. Home and work for you. By the end of the month, there's definitely a more clear vision. The 10th house is all about like our life path. It's the house that says a lot about what motivates us, what pushes us, what we feel called to. So you might want to look into that within your chart, what kind of 10th house influence you have, because that will be highlighted at the end of the month. And that energy, the 10th house influence, is something that we all should be looking towards in our chart, especially in our latter half of our years. It speaks a lot about our personality. And again, the kind of people that we are attracting into our lives that are going to help us stay on course, stay on the path. All right, Cancer, let's get into this, right? Let's pull a animal oracle for you to start off your reading. Trust in the invisible, beautiful. And then we have intuition at the bottom here. Wow, a lot of this like having to go with something even if you don't have the finite details, or things haven't been so clear, so apparent, but there's this nudge, there's this tick, there's this drive, something within you, a deep knowing. It's your intuition that is telling you something, and it's saying trust in the invisible, my friend. Spirit is moving with you and through you at this time. And you have intuition here at the bottom. Scorpio got this message as well. So you might have Scorpio in your chart or dealing with a Scorpio. The bat and the hellebore. The snail and the huckleberry. Trust in the invisible. I am actually being called to read from the booklet because I don't think I've ever gotten the snail. I've just recently broken in this deck more. I've been using it more. I've had it for about a year, but I'm still getting familiar. You know, I like to just kind of intuitively, speaking of intuition, read whatever comes up, but sometimes I like to read from the book. Let's see here. All right, snails. You might have a love for snails. Do you have a pet snail? A Cancer? I'm being silly. The determined and deliberate snail carries its home on its back. Home has a lot to do with you, Cancer, 4th house. While it may seem like a simple, humble creature, the spiral of its shell portends great mystery, representing the cycle of life. Like the snail, the huckleberry is sometimes associated with smallness and insignificance. Oh, our bee friend is hanging out as well. Messengers are coming forth. Look at that. The bee is literally on the screen right now, just hanging out. So now it's on the camera. Hey bee, I'm doing a reading right now. Remember we're talking about self-esteem, right? Feeling small, playing small, right? Especially within your career. That's a message here. Smallness and insignificance. A huckleberry in the late 19th century slang was a person of little consequence. However, it is a powerful fruit that grows plentiful, offering life-sustaining nutrients to both humans and woodland creatures. Together, the snail and huckleberry invite an appreciation for what is beneath the surface and trust in what cannot be seen. Hello, bee friend. This bee is like was buzzing in my ear. Wow, there's something with that. Like a buzzing in your ear. It's a lot to do with intuition, like a nagging sensation, something that's been pulling and tugging at you. And it's like, I'm no longer going to play small, right? And also finding like the beauty in those moments when you did feel small, because a lot of the time our weaknesses in our life and our lowest moments are the points where we can look back and reference, and we can see where maybe we weren't giving enough to ourselves, or it really shows us the areas that we really actually care about, right? So for instance, if there's a nagging sensation within, say, your relationship, and it's persistent and it just doesn't give, and you're feeling insignificant or small in some shape or form, and it just keeps tugging at you, your intuition, it just keeps, it's shining a light, right, in that arena, and there's nothing you can do to avoid it. And, we can try to just dismiss our needs, but again, it is a part of you that is very important, right? And it's wanting to be witnessed, seen, heard at this time. Just like this bee is wanting to be seen, heard, and witnessed right in my ear. I don't know if you can see it. It's like literally right around my head. I must be wearing like a perfume of some sort that it really likes. Hey, I don't want to start your reading over. I'm going to try to hang out with this bee. All right. Let's see, Cancer. Let's see if these bees can play nice for your reading. I love doing readings outside. I really do. I know the elements, right? It's inevitable. All right, Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus signs. Cancer. Show me what I need to see for the month of September, please, for Cancer. Cancer. Ooh. All right. Okay, we're going to take these for now. Get the 10 of Wands there. Okay. This is good. The 10 of Wands is in reverse. So that tells me that during this retrograde, you laid some burden down. During, I should say, Venus retrograde specifically, which started back in June, end of June. So you came to a realization about something that was heavy, and I feel like you're starting to lay some of those burdens down. beautiful. Especially here with the Death card. It's like, again, transforming something, allowing something to rest. A part of you even. The Death can symbolize so many things. It can be an internal process. It can be an external one. It can be very different for each Cancer that I'm reading for. But death also doesn't have to mean a permanent ending, right? Sometimes it can. But as we know, or at least I know and I believe, that everything is energy and nothing really truly dies. It just transforms into something else. But speaking of like physical matters, it might be perceived as something that is lost. But again, the energy lives on in some way, or again, it is transmuted into something else. So for you, that might be something very specific. Especially I see this tied with the death of that lack mentality here. 5 of Pentacles. Again, it's a lot to do with that second house influence and confidence and believing in oneself and getting out of this lack mentality. 5 of Pentacles is also like a victimized mentality, like woe is me. Oh, I'm no good, or I'm not worthy, or I have to hustle. I have, to fight for my survival, fight or flight mode. I think of when I think of 5 of Pentacles, there's a lot to do with money, right? Or feeling neglected in some way. Again, has a lot to do with the way that we perceive ourselves and what we allow in our lives. And I see, Cancer, that this month specifically, you're dropping that. That was definitely a burden, right? And I'm seeing this beautiful energy coming in for you. Page of Wands, 8 of Wands. This could be a fire sign that is communicating with you in some way this month. Also, this could be some new sort of like confidence, right? Newfound confidence. This is fire energy, so this is motivation. Sun-Mars influence at the end of the month is definitely playing a huge role in this for you. And this energy might be coming in during that time, September 23rd, September 24th. You might be getting a message from someone, specifically a fire sign. And I feel like it's going to advance your life in some way with the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is a very positive energy. It's an uplifting energy. It brings us back into alignment. 8s I do think of as like a balance number, as well as 6. I do think that this communication that's coming in is going to make you happy in some way. Okay. You might also have a child that is a fire sign, but that's not for everyone. All right, we do have the Empress here, and I do want to clarify this Empress because I'm feeling like, it being in reverse, it's making me a bit worried in some way. That 4th house influence does talk about the home, and the Empress is represented as mother. This could be about your mother, but I'm feeling like this is your energy, and I want to see what's going on. Tell me more about this Empress before I make any sort of assumptions here. Okay. So I do think with that 4th house influence for you, Cancer, it's coming through, the Sun-Mars influence on the 23rd, 24th. We talked about this. This is playing a big role for you this month. I am seeing this Empress is connected to the home. It's your energy. I'm seeing it. There's some sort of imbalance within the home. Definitely. You got the Temperance in reverse, the Moon in reverse with the 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles is all about reciprocity, right? It's about charity. It's about giving, right? Receiving. As above, so below. There's a yin yang, right? It's balanced. And again, with the Empress, it's like feeling worthy of receiving something that deep, deep down you are. But there's still an inkling of doubt, especially around some sort of marriage or commitment, right, with the Empress. Because the Empress represents someone that is in a committed relationship or married, the mother, right? Not necessarily always, but I'm seeing that kind of in this situation. She's definitely a highly sought after individual. And in this deck specifically, it's someone that is a bit older, right? She runs empires. Even if she's not in a committed relationship, even if you aren't Cancer, she is someone that is looked up to, right? She runs empires. She's the queen of all queens. She embodies all elements. And with that Six of Pentacles, it's like, you know, finding that inner confidence, finding that kind of balance within you of all of the elements. Something that you're still kind of fine tweaking here with the Temperance. It's taking time, and we did see the patience in the beginning. So just know that you are still in this process. But I do think that at least when it comes to some sort of like monetization, you know, lack mentality, you know, with the Five of Pentacles, I think that you've laid to rest some of these ideas, these concepts that maybe were ingrained in you at a very young age. And it's taking you some time to process it with the Moon card. But you definitely are. But I would say that's the main focus here, is getting that feminine energy, the Empress upright, you know, where you maybe become more interdependent within a relationship, maybe healing a mother wound, some sort of challenges are even around the mother, I'm hearing. Or even like you, if you are a mother, maybe you are facing some sort of like family concerns with a child, you know, something that you're having to tackle this month. All right, we are going to pull a love oracle. We're going to take this over to Patreon for your extended love message if you want to follow me over there, Cancer. But let's see. Let's see what we're going to be focusing in on. I want you to think about your love interest at this time. Focus in on those energies, those intentions, and let's see what oracle message we have for you, Cancer. What do we have for Cancer in regards to love? Please show me what I need to see for Cancer in regards to love. Whew, you got a lot about needing time and patience. My goodness, you must be reaching your wit's end, Cancer. Needs time, takes time, cycles, time to heal, progress. Even though it might feel like an eternity, right? Especially within this love dynamic, right? Figuring it out, the fine details, the fine steps it takes to maybe make something work. Just know that it's seeming as though it's not moving forward, but it is. Especially with that Temperance card we saw in the Patience card. Things are balancing out, but a lot of it is coming from within, right? We saw that reflected in the Empress card. So in regards to love, it's still drawing back to you. And it also is saying here that this is a time to be with friends. You know, maybe that is taking more of a front and center, right? You're starting to prioritize more you time, you know, not focusing as much on love. It says happily single, living in the moment, having fun, you know, and knowing that maybe love will just take time. Oh, you know what song just came to mind? An old Mariah Carey song. Love takes time to heal when you're feeling hurting so much. Love Takes Time by Mariah Carey. You should look that song up. Love Takes Time. Those lyrics are definitely potent for you at this time. All right, Cancer. If this is where we depart, then I'll see you for the mid-month check-in. And if you want to follow me over to Patreon for an extended love reading, I'd love to find you over there. Bye for now, Cancer.